Boom! Iron Fist Season 2 is better than the first one. That's not saying a lot. I don't know why I'm singing. That's just how I roll. I don't know why I incited it. I'm not stopping though. Nope, we're just gonna keep going. Iron Fist Season 2 was definitely, as I just said, was definitely a step up from season. Like it was a step up from season 1, no doubt. The choreography was leagues better than it was in season 1. That's the characters were to some degree more likable. Colleen was going great. It was great to see Misty show up a little bit. Claire's no longer in the series. I'm trying to remember who else they. Some of the characters were more likable. I will say Davos made for a better villain than the Hand did, because the Hand, or Meacham did, because neither of them were that good of it. The Hand just, I think they really dropped the ball in the Netflix series when it comes to the Hand. Like Daredevil season 2, not so much. I think they did a good job in season 2 with the Hand. Then after that, it just all went downhill very fast. The humor notes were also pretty solid for when they had this hit. But okay, so the story is Danny trying to uphold his promise to Matt about defending the city. Obviously, it doesn't matter because we know Matt comes back. And not knowing what to do with the Iron Fist now that Kung Lung is destroyed. Davos obviously is now the villain, who was teamed up with Joy to basically get revenge on Danny. And then you also have Walker, a dissociative personality soldier, who apparently has 3 that we find out, different personalities. And I don't know. It seems like they were trying to throw a lot in this, and a lot of it was just. I don't know. Like, again, it wasn't like so bad like it was in Iron Fist season 2, but at least Iron Fist season 1. But in Iron Fist season 1, I at least got like a really awesome fight between Danny and the Drunken Master. Like that was me and my girlfriend both agreed that was an awesome fight. And like season 1 still had its moments, just wasn't that great. It was not good. But this one, it was better consistent. I think it was kind of the same problem I had with Luke Cage, but to a greater degree. Where with Luke Cage season 1, first half was fantastic, and the second one just kind of second half was just petering out. It wasn't terrible, just petered out. Whereas the second season was just a kind of consistent ride. This is what I can say about it. This was an improvement in a consistent ride, but it still wasn't great. Danny's attitude really starts to rub you the wrong way. Joy becomes a completely unlikable kid. Like, you want to talk about unlikable, like, besides Trish, it's very difficult for me to think of another character who was really starting to become as unlikable as Joy was. Because Joy just thought she was vindicated in her actions against Danny for ruining her family. It's like, oh, bullshit. Oh, get over yourself. It was not his fault. Yeah, he came back. Was that his fault? Was that his fault? His plane crashed? That he landed and got adopted by magic monks, punched a dragon in the heart, and got the Iron Fist? So then he decides to come back to his home? Is that his fault? No. You just don't know how to process the fact that your dad was a piece of shit who lied to you. I'm sorry, but wow, Joy. Get over yourself. And fortunately, she kind of comes around by the end of it. I mean, it's not a perfect coming around, but she comes around. Davos, I'll say this. Davos, you want to talk about someone who's not supposed to be very likable. And Danny even calls out, because we do see a flashback to them training and to earn the right to be the Iron Fist, wearing the outfit and everything. And it's that Danny even points out very clearly that Davos was trained to be the Iron Fist, but it was clear even by his dad, even by Davos' father, that he wasn't worthy of it. It was going to corrupt him, and so it did. It corrupted him. He wasn't worthy of it because he believed himself some divine prodigy, some protector, something, the chosen one, and that power clearly went to his head. Um, and because of that, the fact that he is unlikable makes him a good. I mean, to some degree, you need your villain to be likable most of the time. There are exceptions though. When you have a very unlikable character, you want to see them get just taken out. And Davos, this really feeling, basically this entitled brat is what he was. Um, that's what it was. He was an entitled brat. Getting the power felt really dirty, so he was great when he finally got his comeuppance. And the fact that Colleen got to be the new Iron Fist, channeling the Iron Fist through her sword, turning basically into a holy lightsaber, that's pretty freaking awesome. I'm not gonna lie. Despite the fact I didn't love the series, I do wish we would have gotten to season 3 just to see where it would have gone. Specifically because we see the end of the season and the series, I guess, where Danny found 2 guns that, if I were to guess, because there was the Iron Fist that like fought in one of the World Wars or something like that, it must have been from that. It must have been the guns that had been affected somehow, which is why he was able to use those guns the way he did, and channeling the Iron Fist through those guns. So yeah, it's one of those things where it's like there's a lot of unanswered questions I wish we had answered. The whole idea of oh god, I can't. Okay, Joy, Danny. Okay, who's the brother? This is bothering me. Anyway, the brother dealing with his AA stuff. I'm like, okay, well, not AA, but dealing with his rehab group. Like, okay, that was interesting. The idea, here's the thing, I'm not sure how much I agreed though with the woman he was seeing, and she ended up getting pregnant, and then her just telling him off like that, where it's like, look, I do get her point of view. I completely understood what she meant. Like, you think it's a sign, but it's not. It's just an accident. It's like, okay, well, you're clearly an atheist, but whatever. No, I'm not trying to poke religion or anything. It's like, but it's clear. It's like, oh, you clearly are a rational individual. Good for you. But I like the guy was trying. Okay, he was like, what do you expect from him? He's a millionaire. I think it might be even a billion. I think they're multi-millionaires, close to billionaires, close to that. Anyway, and the amount of stress he's under, not even including the drugs and stuff like that. It's one of those things where it's like, I get where you're coming from, but cut him some slack. No one's perfect. The fact he fell off the bandwagon, look, it happens. And I get that, and you don't want your kid around that. The fact that both you are addicts, it's, I don't know. Something about that, her really just shutting him out completely, really didn't sit right with me. I don't know. Something about it just didn't seem right. And then you get the Walker subplot, where you get this character who, when we first meet her, is this very nice and very innocent person, very bubbly. And then you see that she's also got an altered personality who's a soldier. And then we find out by the end that there's a third alter, who might be even more vicious than the Walker persona. There are parts of that story I like. I like the actress playing. I like her performance throughout it. But if I'm going to be flat out honest, and maybe it's because Danny's off his game or something like that. Maybe it's because he's so wrapped up in his own stuff that he lost that fight. If the Iron Fist is supposed to be such a master martial artist like he is, and yeah, it's not really well portrayed in the first season. It's portrayed a lot better in this season and in like the Defenders, but it's not portrayed very well in the first season. But if he's the kind of master martial artist he is, I don't care how well trained militarily speaking you are. Unless you are a competent martial artist in your own right, you're not going to beat Danny in a fight. Or unless you got superpowers, you're not going to beat Danny in a fight. Luke could beat Danny in a fight because he had durability and super strength, and he could hold his own in the fight. Matt, even though the fight never really resolved, could beat Danny in a fight because he is that good of a fighter. Jessica theoretically could clock him. That's about it. The whole Jessica the Defenders is kind of funny. It's like, does everyone know martial arts all of a sudden? It's like, yeah, kind of. It's like, yeah, maybe you should, take after your friend there, Trish, and actually learn to fight. Just saying, especially with your life. But yeah, it's one of those things where I'm like, this is all. I don't really buy that she would have beaten him. Yeah, she used strategy, obviously, but I don't really buy that she would have beaten him ultimately in an actual straight fight. And we do get a little bit of that later on, where he goes to confront her and uses her triggers to bring out the other persona, the other alter. But honestly, I think the thing is, like, this is cool, but it belongs in a completely different series. Maybe not even a superhero series. Like, I could have seen this character maybe being like the protagonist or the main focus or one of the main focuses of another TV show entirely. I don't think this fit well in this series. So yeah, I liked it and didn't like it at the same time. And I think that's the problem with season 2 of Iron Fist. Like, there's a lot more to like in season 2, but there's just as much stuff to not like. So I go back and forth from liking and not liking. I mean, there is, like I said, there is good stuff in there's more good stuff in season 2 than there was season 1. There's a more consistent feel to the tone. I love the fact that you get Colleen the Iron Fist. Davos is at least a better villain than Meachum, I think. There's some great moments, I think, between Joy and, oh god, again, I felt like if I was gonna keep talking, the name was gonna come up. Is it Jared? No. Joy and A. I'm seeing if I can remember it. C, D, E, F, G, H. No, I can't remember his name. It's boggling. But there's a great scene where they're really discussing their problems with each other. And, she does eventually come to kind of regret her decisions. Oh, I like what I'm doing with my fingers there. Ooh, how many fingers are there? Anyway, I will do this for the rest of my talking. So, there's a great scene they have where they're talking about the issues with each other. And it was a really good scene that they had of each other. I also don't quite... This is weird to say, but and it's because I watched watched anime and stuff like that. And one particular one was Baki the Grappler, which I was actually a big fan of Baki in there. And I know they brought it back to kind of finish out the manga. It wasn't exactly the manga, but I still finished it out. And the thing is that, I get Davos being like this pure whole, monk trainee thing. But it's like, okay, so I get the whole chastity thing, I guess. And it was the meaning and whatever. It's like, right. It's like, okay, I get it, but at the same time, I mean, bear with me as I go through this one more time. Like, not eating meat, I'm like, okay. And Danny even said occasionally they would be able to get donkey and stuff. So Danny clearly wasn't a pure vegetarian. So why was Davos? Because he felt he had to be? It wasn't religion, because they didn't really have a religion in Kunlun. It was a honor, it was a privilege. They knew their religion wasn't religion. It was fact. They had the Iron Fist. So I don't know. Something just, and it's because of that. It's because, and reason I mention Baki is because I remember like Yujiro Hanma, one of the most badass mother effers in anime. Talking about, it's like, celibacy doesn't really mean much, ultimately. And, not eating meat doesn't mean much as well. Like, all these principles that these people think make them better, it really doesn't mean jack. Do it. Eat meat. Have sex. Do what you need to do to be the person you need to be the best individual you need to be. And look, if that's what, it's clear that it didn't make Davos the best individual he needed to be. Because, but then again, you can make the argument the fact that he did eat those things, or he did do those things. Maybe that did corrupt him. Who knows? But he did those things to get what he wanted, and that was another problem, is that he had more or less corrupted himself. So he was already corrupted to begin with. Ultimately, Iron Fist season 2 hits a weird note for me. If I were to rate quickly, I haven't watched Jessica Jones season 3 yet. That's the last thing I got to watch, and then I'm done with the normal Netflix stuff. I may rewatch them at some point, a couple of them. I feel like I need to rewatch Punisher season 1, Defenders, and at minimum Daredevil season 2. Those three I feel like I need to rewatch again. Maybe Luke Cage also. Maybe. No, I don't need to rewatch Jessica Jones or Iron Fist though. But as I was saying, if I were to rank them, like Daredevil seasons 2 through 3. Punisher season 1, Punisher season 2. Those are like the top of the heap. Then with everything else I've seen, it'd probably be Luke Cage season 1, Jessica Jones season 1, Luke Cage season 2, Jessica Jones season 2, Iron Fist season 1, and Iron Fist season 2 and Iron Fist season 1. Like Iron Fist is still pretty much the bottom of the barrel. But season 2 is an improvement. It was. Either way, though, that's my thoughts on Iron Fist season 2. We only got to talk about Punisher season 2 and Jessica Jones season 2 left. So, and my girlfriend did just get Disney Plus, so eventually I'll talk about The Mandalorian. And just in time, because, season 2 comes out at the end of October. So that's great. Until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, who wants to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point and ideas for who would win. Star Wars, Superhero, Magic, What If, anything to do with the channel. Put that in the comments below. Let me know. I'll get to that at some point. So, see you next time. Hit that bell if you want notifications. I still got the who would win to do, so keep your eyes up for that. Later.